Hello, everyone. Welcome to Kollel Kol Shira in partnership with Breslov.org and, of course, Yeshiva Deret Shimon. Okay, very exciting. First of all, we wish everyone a good Chodesh. It's Rosh Chodesh Sivan. We're coming up to the Shloshei Simei Hakbala, the 3 days before Kabbalah Satayra. Haba Aleinu L'Teiva Mitzvah Hashem, wherever Yidden are around the world. And we'll talk about that. And then the whole idea of Kabbalah Satayra. So because we're not going to meet before Shavuot, so we'll try to combine in the parsha. We'll try to combine Shavuot together with the parsha. And we know that really Chazal instituted that we should always read Parshat Bamidbar before Shavuot. So Parshat Bamidbar is connected to Shavuot, right? We're going to see that soon. But let's just do a general overview of the parsha. So Parshat Bamidbar, of course, is the first parsha of the Sefer of Sefer Bamidbar. And the parsha is known in English as numbers because pretty much the whole sefer is all about numbers. It's about numbers. Those are the main themes, right? And we talk about the journeys, right? In Bamidbar we talk about the different journeys, the masois that we have in the desert and so on. So we started out. The first thing is we have a census. And we have organization, right? The Torah describes and takes the census of Klal Yisrael, counting all the males from 20 years of old that are fit to serve as in the military, right? And we know that the total count was 603,550 people. Those were the count. That was the total count, right? We also know that Klal Yisrael, we organized and we camped around the Mishkan, right? We now have the Mishkan, so we had 3 camps around the Mishkan, right? And then we have the next one. We have the role. We talk about the roles of the Levium, right? The Levium were chosen. They were chosen to take care of the avodah in the Mishkan, and they would have their avodah. They would have their shira and their thing and their avodah. They would also be the ones, the 3 groups, and they were divided into 3 groups. You had Gershon, Kahas, and Merari. Those were the 3 different groups. Then we talk about in the parsha. We talk about Kedusha, purity and holiness. The parsha emphasizes the importance of maintaining purity and holiness within the camps, especially given the presence of the Mishkan. And then we know that the Mishkan had the Ashras HaShechina, right? We had the Ashras HaShechina in the Mishkan, so of course we had to maintain a level of Kedusha, okay? We have in the parsha also, we had the Golem, the flags. Right, the flags, and it says that the malachim were makana our degolim. They were jealous. The malachim, the angels, were jealous of our flags. You believe that? It's amazing, right? The angels were jealous of our flags. They also wanted flags. You know, when the kids go around on Simchas Torah and they have their flags, right? It's a big thing. The flags. Don't take that light. It's a beautiful thing. Okay, then we have the journeys and the preparing, right? The parsha sets the stage for Klal Yisrael on their journeys through the Midbar, highlighting the organization and the preparation for travel, how they traveled and so on. Right? We know that when the Anania covered, when it stopped, we stopped and we encamped. And we set up everything. We had it was total organization. It was beautifully organized, everything, and everyone knew exactly what their job was. It was something so special. Okay, now we have also here the idea of the kohanim and the dedication, right? Although it's not detailed in the parsha, the setup of the kohanim and the dedication and the consecration of the Mishkan, but it's implied is setting the stage for future events. So this is the parsha that brings in the whole Sefer Bamidbar, right? Bamidbar emphasizes the importance of order, organization, kedusha, right? And within Klal Yisrael, the kedusha of Klal Yisrael, and it prepares us for our journeys through the desert into Eretz Yisrael. Right? Okay, that's the parsha in a nutshell. What we have, the general points of the parsha. Okay, we'll discuss a few pointers in there now. But something very, very interesting, very interesting that we were learning actually this morning in Likutei Halachos. We're learning Hilchos Netilas Yadayim Lasuda, and it's Halacha Dalit. And today we were learning Ches, and there he brings in the idea of the hay of Hashishi, right? Rashi brings down that when we say the Yom HaShishi, right? Every Friday night we make Kiddush, right? And we mention the Yom HaShishi. So Rashi says, what is the significance of Hashishi? We know that every time you have a hay, you put it in front, it's the hay hayadiyah. It's the hay that that describes the situation, describes what you tried to talk about. So Rashi says it's talking about the Shishi was the 6th day of Chodesh Sivan, which is where the world was anticipating Klal Yisrael accepting the Torah, and we accepted the Torah. The world was running on Chesed Chinam, right? HaKadosh Baruch Hu was running the world on Chesed Chinam. It wasn't that we did anything that HaKadosh Baruch Hu that the world was doing anything. We didn't have Torah, we didn't have the mitzvos. So Hashem was just keeping the world going. But the example that I always like to give is like this. Sometimes you have your cell phone, right? And it's down to 1%. And then somebody calls you, and you need to take the call. And you're afraid to answer it, right? You're afraid to answer it, but then you get to that plug. You get to the plug, and you plug it in. That feeling of you're safe, you're saved. It's not going to shut off, right? That was the world. When Klal Yisrael said Na'aseh v'nishma, when we said Na'aseh v'nishma, we put the whole creation, everything that Hashem made, yesh me'ayin hamuchla, everything that Hashem created, we put it at ease. Everything was put at ease because the world now will be able to run via our Torah study, via our performance of the mitzvos. And it was something so special, something very, very special that we were able to accept the Torah, and the whole world was anticipating this day of Maimed HaSinai Kabbalas HaTorah, that we would be able to accept the Torah. Unbelievable to understand that. How there was the Koilis and the Vrokim, and there was the Shofar that was going, and it was so powerful. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu appeared to us as a Zokein Rachem. He prepared to us as an old man that was very merciful. We saw HaKadosh Baruch Hu that way. He showed himself to us that way. Unbelievable that HaKadosh Baruch Hu showed us to us that he was kind, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu is always kind. We always learn that really HaKadosh Baruch Hu does everything. We're middle of the Sefira, right? Today is the 45th day, which is the Midah of Tiferes Shebemalchus, right? The Midah of Tiferes Shebemalchus. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is always doing everything for us for our good, right? We know that Kol Mada Ovid Rachmana L'Tav Ovid. HaKadosh Baruch Hu does everything for our good. He does it. He's never out to get us. HaKadosh Baruch Hu does things to us that sometimes are difficult, only to wake us up. HaKadosh Baruch Hu loves every Yid, and he believes in every Yid. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants us to do the right thing. We should all be zeicher to do tshuva, shalema, so HaKadosh Baruch Hu can bring us mamish to the final geula that we're all waiting for. Now, let's take a look inside. I want to look inside a few different things. There's so many different things to learn, but I think this is very nice. And here we go. Let's take a look at Rav Nosson has to stay over here. Okay, and I think it's something that we're going to really enjoy, I hope. I did anyway myself. But Mispar Shemos, with the name, with the number of the names. Perish Rashi. Rashi says, Mitoich chibosan lefanav mayna oisam kol shah. Rashi says, why is HaKadosh Baruch Hu counting us? He's counting us because He loves us. Because He loves us. The same way, if you have something that you love, you always like to look at it, you like to hold it, you like to count it, you want to see. So too, HaKadosh Baruch Hu loves Klal Yisrael. Of course, HaKadosh Baruch Hu knows in an instant exactly how many Yidden there are. But even though sometimes you know how much you have, but you just like to count it, you like to see it. That's HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He gives him a lot of nachas. He enjoys that. He loves us. Kishiyatzu miMitzrayim, when we went out of Mitzrayim, Minan, HaKadosh Baruch Hu counted us. Ukishinaflu be'egel Minan, Lileida HaNaisarim, when we stumbled to the Cheda Egel, right? After Kabbalah Satira, unbelievable that we fell to the Egel, right? The golden calf. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu counted us again to see how many of us were left. And now HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to bring the Shechina upon Klal Yisrael. He counts us again. Be'echad b'Nisan, on the first day of Nisan, right? Chodesh Nisan, Rosh Chodesh Nisan, the first day of the month, right? When Hukam HaMishkan, Be'echad u'Be'echad be'ir Manan. And it was the first of Nisan and the first of Iyar. HaKadosh Baruch Hu counted us again. The Al Kain Kairim Parsha Zois Kaidim Shavuos. And that's why we always read this Parsha. When it comes to Shavuos, before Shavuos, we'll always make sure we read Parshas Bamidbar. It's one of the things, the way the system of the Parshas is set up, that the Parshas will set up in a certain way that will make sure before comes Shavuos, we will be reading the Shabbos before we'll be reading Parshas Bamidbar. Something interesting that maybe you didn't think about, but that's something very nice. So that's one thing that we learned. Kamuva B'Shulchan Aruch, that's in Aruch Chaim Simin Tov Chav Ches. Okay, Hasimin Minu v'Itzru. Mispar b'nei Yisrael, Mispar Hayamin, Shesoifrim Loimer, because the counting of the Jewish people and the counting we do for the Omer, right? We're middle of the Omer right now, right? Counting the Jewish people, counting the Omer, right? Today's the 45th day. Mispar Hayamin Bechinas Achas. It's really one unit. Bechinas Gamlei Ro Einecha Ve'al Sifrecha Kulam Yikasevu, right? All right, Yomim Yitzari says, "V'loy echad bahem." Not only one. Ki kol echad mi Yisrael kolul mikol amiday she'em bechinas hayomim. We're all connected. Every single Jew is an integral part. Is an integral part of Klal Yisrael. Every single Jew is an integral part. Kol mikol amidas, and we're connected to all of the midos. Every day of the Sefira, we have another one in the Midas. Like I said, today is Tferes Shebe Malchus. Okay, yesterday was Gvura Shebe Malchus. The day before was Chesed Shebe Malchus. Every single Jew is inclusive of all of the Midas, Bechinas Hayamim, Bechinas Midas Yamai. Ki kishayoytze atayv me'agolas, tziva Hashem yizbarach limnois, kadavra achaviv shemaynin v'soifer noisai, kidei sheyiyah me'ata shomer v'kam, me'mispa v'minyan, v'lo yechsa nitzaitz echad me'hem. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, every single time that we went out of something, HaKadosh Baruch Hu would always count us again. And he would always he wants from now that we should be watched and become a mispa b'minyan v'lo yachsa nitzaitz echad. Not one spark should be lost. Not one yid should be lost. Mehem v'lo yishatu oid bahem zorim. And we shouldn't have any more strangers. Ki kvar nichnas hakol b'cheshbon hakedusha shezeh b'chinas mispa b'nei Yisrael b'chol pam sheyotzu meira l'toy. Every time we went out and we had another problem, and we went from the bad to the good, HaKadosh Baruch Hu always counted us. He's always counting us. K'may sheyotzu migolas Mitzrayim, v'ched acher ched ha'egel, shechozru hazuma kiyadua. Do you realize something? When we came to Har Sinai, When we came to Har Sinai, we had a total rectification. We had a total rectification where we were even pater from Misa. We were pater from death. Everybody that came to Har Sinai, all the Jews, were able to see Vero. They all saw. That means anybody that was blind got their sight back. Anyone, and they heard the koilos, uvrakim. Anyone that was deaf, they were able to get their hearing back. Anyone that wasn't able to walk, was able to walk. Anyone that lost a limb, got their limb back. It was total rectification. Total rectification. But the Sitra Achra didn't like that. That's why he made that whole thing with the bed floating with Moshe Rabbeinu. He didn't like that. He was going to be out of business, the Sitra Achra, the Malach HaMavis, the Satan. He didn't like that. But this is what we came to. We came to a state of holiness that before the Chet of Adam and Chava, when they ate from the Eitz Hadas Tevera, we came before that. We came to a place that was pure. That was pure even before the Chet Eitz Hadas Tevera. Unbelievable what we accomplished and what we can accomplish even today. Every day we count the Sfira, how wonderful it is. We said that the Sfira is divided into two parts. The first 32 days is talking about the Leiv, the heart. 32 is the Lamed days, Leiv. The next 17 days, which makes the 49 days, is the gematria of Tov. Leiv, Tov, right? We want to have a good heart. Leiv, Tov. The Sfira, counting it, making the rectifications each day on the Sfira brings us to that level of perfection. And we had to purify ourselves again and new. Again. We had to take out the good that was trapped in the bad. Therefore we had to be counted again. But when Mashiach is going to come, Chevra, any day now, we're going to see this galus of Mashiach. We'll see Mashiach mamish, any day now. Avalochki, she is batal atuma. Ksiv ha'ya mispa b'nei Yisrael kichol hayom. The Navi Isaiah says that when Mashiach is going to come, the counting of the Jewish people can be kichol hayom. That means like the sand on the beach. Can you count it? Can you count the sand on the beach? It's impossible. That's how many people, that's how many Yidden they're going to be. Could you believe that? There's going to be so many Yidden, the Navi says. And what the Navi says is mamish the way it's going to be. Mamish the way it's going to be. The Nevi'im said that there's going to be a time that in Yerushalayim, there'll be older people walking with canes, and there'll be kids, and there'll be children playing in the streets. No one ever believed that. No one can ever, but you see it today. You see it today. You go through Yerushalayim, you see all the streets, you see the older people, Baruch Hashem, they should all be well. And they're going with their canes, and the kids are playing, just like they said. And they said that in the mountains of Yehuda, what the world calls the West Bank. Stupid world. The West Bank. It's called Hara Yehuda. This is the Chelik of Yehuda, Hara Yehuda. Okay, this is the Gush Atzion. This is the Chelik. There's no such a thing as a West Bank. It's a bunch of nonsense. It's Yehuda. It's known as Yehuda and Shomron. Okay, they said that in Yehuda there's going to be wine. You're going to have vineyards and you're going to have wine. Chevra, there's a vineyard here. There are vineyards. You can buy wine from the Gush Atzion winery. It's right here. It's all the Nevuah is coming true, mamish. You see the things coming true. We say every day, Baina Yerushalayim Hashem, Nitcha Yisrael Yechanes. Baina, you say it in after Asher, you say the Hallelujahs, right? You say Baina Yerushalayim Hashem, Yisrael Yechanes. They'll come in. Let me tell you something. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is building here Yerushalayim, and Jews are coming back. It's happening. It's mamish happening. So here, when they say like this, when the Navi Isaiah says, "V'haya mispa b'nei Yisrael k'chol hayom asher loy yimad v'loy yisofer," that you would not be able to understand and even count. There'll be so many. It's going to happen. Ki yia oz l'mala me'a mispa, because we're going to be higher than a number. We're going to be higher than a counting. We're going to be l'mala min ha'teva. In Teva, Hashem made numbers. But the Navi's telling us that really when Mashiach is going to come, we're going to be above Teva. Ki be'em eshoyrish nishmas Yisrael, sheim ikra atoiv. Nishmas Yisrael, the beautiful neshamas of Klal Yisrael. All the Nishmas Yisrael make up the Shechina Kedosha. That's all the collection of all Yiddish and neshamas together. Hu lemala me'a misbar. That's higher than accounting. Every single neshama is a chelik elikom mimal. It's a piece of the Rabbeinu Shalem. We have inside of us, every single yid has a neshama, and neshama of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, which is a chelik elikom mimal from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Wow, shesham ein shayach misbar. Over there, there's no counting. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is unlimited. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is unlimited. Ein shayach mispa. Bechinas l'fnei echad ma'ata seifer. Before one, what is there to count? HaKadosh Baruch Hu is echad. What's there to count before one? Nothing. Rak machma sh'haneshama is mislapsha is bezeh olam. But our neshamas are enclosed in our gufim, our bodies in this world. We're in the world of Asiya, right? This is the world of doing, action, doing. Bishvil ha-bechira. And why does Hashem do that? Because we should have bechira. We can choose HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We can choose right. We can choose right. Even though there are billions of people in the world that choose the wrong thing, there's a little small number of Jews that are still choosing the right thing. Even unfortunately amongst us, there are some that make the wrong decisions. There are some that make the wrong decisions, and they look and they go to the wrong places. But there are those that are doing the right thing, and that's what we're focusing on. Bishvil ha-bechira, that because HaKadosh Baruch Hu does everything, that we have free choice. Ha-hechrech sheyavru tachas ha-mispar v'ha-minyan. Ki zeh ha'olam hu bechinas riboy ha-minyan. This world is a world of counting. Right? I have $1, $2, I have 10 shekel, I have 20 shekel. It's a world of counting. Right? You count. Riboy minyan. Therefore, when HaKadosh Baruch Hu created the world, also takev cheshbon o minyan me'ayomim shebara bahem es ha'olam. Hashem made a minyan. He made a counting of the days that He used to create the world. Yom echad, vayhi erev, vayhi voker, yom sheni, vayhi erev, vayhi voker, yom shlishi, yom revi, and so on and so forth. V'chein kulam v'zel b'mispa shemois daika kitzrichim loidia la'atoi v'akavos shemoi daika shehu kolo b'shem Yisrael. In the name, it's so much. The names are so important. Kitzrichim loidia la'atoi. You have to let the good know. That's kavos shemoi. It's trapped in the name Daika shehu kolo b'shem Yisrael k'may shekaso b'shem Yisrael yechana elu hagerim. Those are the Gerim, Rashi says. When the Navi Yeshaya says, Uveshem Yisrael Yechane, what does that mean? Elu HaGerim, Rashi says. Ki kol zman shezoicha atoiv shemai. Whenever you put the name, the good, back to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, His name, Adayim Bekal, Yechoylin Lohitzi Misham, you can take out whatever you have to take out. Vikar HaShichacha. But the fact that we forget what's really good, because we forget Hashem's name, we forget our names. And now we know when the mace when the person leaves the world and he goes to the next world, so we know if he wasn't a kosher person, he didn't do the right thing, they'll ask him his name, he won't remember his name. Right? That's what we say a pasuk that's a reference to our name in Shemon. When we finish the Shemon Esrei, so when we get up to Shemayim, we don't have to be embarrassed. And they say, "What's your name?" And the neshama won't know his name. Could you imagine how embarrassing that is? Because our names were partnered with HaKadosh Baruch Hu's name. And any Jew that remembers, no matter what I did, I am still a Jew, and I have the name of Klal Yisrael, I have the name of Yisrael upon me. It doesn't matter who he really is. Even if someone is a denier, he's a heretic. A Paishei Yisrael calls man Shem Yisrael Nikla Olav. Anytime he still is connected to Yisrael, Ki Nikra Paishei Yisrael. Yesh by his paras prati. In other words, if you have, even though he's called Paisheya Yisrael, he's not Paisheya, he's Paisheya Yisrael. That means even though he's a heretic, he's still connected to his name. He's still connected to Klal Yisrael. That's why any Jew can always come back, because they're always connected. Ki calls man Shem Yisrael Nikra Olav Ki Nikra Paisheya Yisrael. Your name Yisrael is there. Yesh by his paras prati. He has some special beauty. There's something specific. There's a specific beauty with that. Anytime you remember that you're partnered with Hashem, and the Jew remembers he has a neshama. When the Jew remembers he has his neshama, and he's partnering with Hashem, he can come back to Hashem. It's no problem. Because the good that a person does always stays with him. When we say good words and we do good things, those words always travel with us. They go with us. Even though we go sometimes and do the wrong things, but the goodness still stays with us. It stays with us. The toiv, the neshama doesn't forget who he is, his greatness. Because he remembers his name is Yisrael. Hashem made everything. He made everything in all creation, all worlds, all firmaments, all galaxies. The entire world he made for us to serve him. It's so beautiful. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he wants us to serve him. May nimlach v'nis yaetz v'brias olamai. Unbelievable to understand this. Listen, that's why they're counting the names, and in the parsha they keep mentioning the names. Why are you mentioning the names? Because the names is our connection to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Our names is connection to our neshama. They say that every day a person should mention his name. Right? Mention his name, and you should mention the name of your children. Mention the name of the full Jewish name. Not somebody, his name is David, they call him David. If somebody's name is Chaim, they call him Howard. No, call him by his name. Call him by his Jewish name. Excuse me. Okay. So this is some idea, and that's why we read this parsha before Shavuot, because again we want to have the names. We want to have to show everybody that they're important. Everybody is important. Now I have another Torah from Rav Nosson, unbelievable here. This is something so mamash. I have plenty of things we could learn today, guys. So don't worry. We won't run out of things here today. Baruch Hashem. Yeah. Why would this get bigger? Let's see. Oh, here we go. Okay. Here, this is something so beautiful. It's a piece on Kabbalah Satorah. It's a piece that we can take and we can use every day that we listen to the Torah. Right? Every day you listen to the Torah, this is something that you can really appreciate. It says here, Vayichan Sham Yisrael Neged Ahar, that we encamped We encamped around the mountain. We encamped around Har Sinai. We encamped. B'shah she'oimdim l'shmoya kriyas haTorah. When you're in shul and they're about to read the Torah and you're listening to the Torah, tzrichin la'amay be'ema uv'yira. You have to stand there with fear and intrepidation, the same way we stood at Har Sinai. B'reses uv'zeya. B'lahatois oznoi heitem, and pay good attention to what you're hearing. L'chol diba v'diba shel haTorah kedosha. Hear every single word that's being read from the Holy Torah. Ki'ilu oimei tachas Har Sinai. Like you're standing on the Har Sinai. We know it's Kaf Aleim Har Chagigas, right? HaKadosh Baruch Hu held the mountain over us. And he said, if you accept the Torah, good. If not, Sham Teiku Raschem, here you'll be buried, right? But we have to stand in that way, as if we were standing in Har Sinai. Mamish, as we were standing there under Har Sinai. Oh, wow. Shenosna b'Sinai ayidei Moshe Rabbeinu. Oh, wow. L'chavein lahamshech al atzmei kedushas Kabbalas HaTorah. We want to bring upon ourselves the kedusha of Kabbalas HaTorah. The Mukubalim say, and this is something so beautiful, if a person has any kind of an ailment, the same way we mentioned before, that when everyone came to Kabbalas HaTorah, and when they were standing by Har Sinai, they had a total healing from anything that they were lacking, anything that they were suffering from. So too, if you go to shul, and you listen to the Kabbalas HaTorah, and you feel that your mom is standing at Har Sinai, you hear every single word, and every word is precious. You can get the same healing. We should be Zoicha, mamish. We should be Zoicha to that. Now he says, Ayidei kibbutz nefashis Yisrael, right? So Moshe Rabbeinu gave the kedushas Kabbalas HaTorah shenosna b'Sinai ayidei Moshe Rabbeinu all the shalom. The Torah was given to us via Moshe Rabbeinu on Har Sinai. Okay, so far so good. Ayidei kibbutz nefashis Yisrael yachad. When we all came together, we were ki'ish echad b'leiv echad. When we came to Har Sinai, we were ki'ish echad b'leiv echad. We were one people. We were one soul. We were one. Just like we said before, all the numbers is nothing before one, because we were one with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So we were one. We were one. We could do that again. HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants us to have achdus. He wants us to be unified. He doesn't like when Jews disparage other Jews and make separation. Hashem wants us to be unified. Ayadei kibbutz nafshei Yisrael yachad. K'may shekosav ayichan sham Yisrael neged ahar. Rashi says, a Perish Rashi, kulam yachad k'ish echad b'leiv echad. Rashi says we were like one person. We all had the same mindset. We all had the same understanding. No one disagreed with anybody else. Could you imagine that? Could you imagine that two Jews don't disagree with each other? Unbelievable. If you have 2 Jews, if you have 10 Jews in a room, how many opinions you have? You have 5,000 opinions, because you have 10 Jews, right? Everyone has all different things to say. No, but we were ki'ish echad b'leiv echad. We were one heart. We were one people. We were one. How beautiful that was. Unbelievable how beautiful that was. And at that time, my nefesh and your nefesh was there. How about that? Anyone listening to this, any Jew, no matter where they are, and when it came to Kabbalas HaTorah, every single Jew was there. Because I said, "Gam nafshoy sham." K'may shekosov es asher yeshnu po, v'es asher einenu po. Those that were here today and those that are not here, they were all there. We're all there. We were all part of it. We all witnessed it. K'may she'amru, Rabbi Seinu Zal, shekol nafshes Yisrael, shall kol hadoyres asidin lovay. In the Medrash in Tanchuma Pikude says, Kol shekol nafshes Yisrael, shall kol adoros hasidin lavai, all Jewish nefashes, all Jewish souls, from all the generations that will be. That's me and you, right? That's all of us. Kulam amdu al Har Sinai. We were all standing there on Har Sinai. Our neshamas were standing at attention at Har Sinai. So don't think, I don't know, they got the Torah back then. No, we're getting the Torah new today, and your neshama was there then, and he's here now today. Unbelievable to realize this. Let's think about this. You have to think this through to make it, so it should be so special. You have to think about it. You have to place it into the heart. Here, now he says, now look at this. This is so fire. This is mamash fire. Kulam amdu al Sinai, v'chein b'chol dar v'dar shenimtzecha ha'torah aleinu al yodam. And every single generation we get the Torah. K'may shamar Moshe kibel Torah misinai u'masor liyeshua v'yeshua l'zikeinu zikeinu leviim and so on. The Mishnah in Pirkei Avos in Perek Aleph in Pirkei Avos. Now we're learning Pirkei Avos in the summertime. This is the what we do. Ad hayoyim hazeh till today. The Torah was given over. We have a Mesorah that went from one generation to the next and to the next and the next. And that we have to understand that we have a continuity. That's the beauty. There's a continuity all the way back from Kabbalah's HaTorah till today. There's a beautiful hemshech and a continuity that doesn't get broken. It stays, the connection is clear and strong. Like we say in Eretz Yisrael, the klita is strong, right? The connection is strong, right? The klita is chazak. That's how we are. We are all connected to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We're all connected to Ma'amad Har Sinai. Ad hayom hazeh. B'chulam ha'ya ikar hamshochas ha'Torah al yedei kibbutz ha'yeshivas ha'kedoshos etzla etzel Rabba Mamiti. All of that happened through the holy yeshivas, the Torah study halls, right? Next to their rebbeim, and so on and so forth. Shayideze nichlu nafsham yachad, and that's how we get all being brought together. Shayideze nimshach bechinas kabbalas haTorah b'chol dar v'dar, and that's how we get kabbalas haTorah. Ever on Sunday night, Abba Lein is going to be Shuas. Sunday night is the night we stay up. Sunday night is the day we anticipate the big Yom Tov. Rab Nosson brings down, the Zayah brings down that mikvah, the mikvah of Shuas night is the highest mikvah of all the whole year. It's mikvah Nun. It's the 50th gate. It's the 50th gate. Anyone that's Zaycha to go to the mikvah before the Nate's Minyan, before you daven, whatever you're going to do. We'll talk about davening on Shavuot morning. But whatever you're going to do to try to go to the mikvah before Kabbalas HaTorah to be pure. That's a very, 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 very special time to go to the mikvah. If you can only go then, that's wow. That's wow. That's wow. It's mamish wow. It's connected to Torah 56 in Likutei Maran. Okay. Now listen to this. So every time that we come to listen to the Torah, and especially when it's going to be Shavuos morning, Monday morning, when we hear Kabbalas HaTorah, right? When you come to listen to the Torah, you can hear the Aseres HaDibros, right? The same as we heard on Har Sinai. Again, you're going to hear it anew. Hashem is giving us the Torah anew again this Monday. Yom Sheni Abba Aleinu L'Tova. Okay? B'tziba tzrichin l'chaven shitiya nafshoy nichleles b'chol nafshes Yisrael. Connect yourself to all the souls of all the Jews. I'm connecting myself, I'm binding myself of all nefashos, of all generations, of all that continuity back to Har Sinai when I'm listening to the Torah now. Oiskim lekabsam, and this is what the tzaddikim and every generation, they're oiskim lekabsam v'lechlolam yachad. The tzaddikim are there, and they're trying to bring us all back together. The tzaddikim are trying to bring us all back together as one. This is what the tzaddikim are doing. That's the kedusha of the tzibur. When you have a community, the community is holy. Mikubatzim umechubarim uchelulim nafshes yachad. When they gather together and they're bound together and they're one, they join their souls together. Yachad ayadei tzaddik harabi amiti shebechol dar. Through the tzaddik, through the rabbi, the true rabbi of each and every generation, true Nikra Roya Yisrael. He's known as the shepherd of Klal Yisrael, the rabbi. Bechinas keroya edroy yira bezroya yikabetz teloyim bechekay yisa alois yinah. The same way when you have a flock of sheep. Right? You have always some of those sheep that they want to go away. They don't go. Most of them are they're herd animals. So they go. But there's always one that gets away. So the shepherd, he brings the sheep back. He takes them into his bosom. He takes the sheep and he puts the sheep back onto the path. This is what the tzaddikim do for us. That's why they call the roya. They're called the roya tzai, because that's what we are. Tzaddikim roya mamitim. Elu b'chol dar mekablim kol tziba b'tziba b'chol mokai. Sheim miskapsim likrois b'toira la'asik bo. So when we get together and we're reading from the Torah, aval kol yochid v'yochid tzarech lahochin es atzmai harbe lezeh. Everyone has to prepare themselves for this. Sheyizke shetia nafshe nichleles b'soich hatzibur hakodesh hazeh. When you have to work on being part of your community. We all have to work on being part of our communities to bring Klal Yisrael together, to give respect and to give honor to everybody around us, to give respect. And if you come into shul and someone's sitting in your seat, remember something. The halacha says your dalet amas is your makim kivua is within your dalet amas. Your makim kivu is not, I sit on this chair. The first row, the second seat, that's my seat. No. If somebody is there, so let him sit there. Sit next to him. Sit in the next row. When are you going to go? Chase the guy away? That's how you're going to bring Jews together? Chas v'sholem, chas v'sholem. In each and every generation. So this is something so special to understand. That when we have Kabbalah Satorah, it's not just a stam thing that we have Kabbalah Satorah. Kabbalah Satorah is something so special, and it pertains to every single one of us. And we have to all try to bring ourselves together. And again, when you're listening to the Torah, remember, as if you're standing under Har Sinai right now. And I'm standing under the mountain and I'm accepting the Torah anew. Please, I'm telling you, Chevra, this is something so special. Every time we listen to the Torah, and you hear those words, and you look at the Torah, and they say, V'zoi Satorah, they pick up the Torah, you're looking at the Torah. It's to make a mental note of that. So you can straighten out the medama, our imagination, and we can start to imagine good things. Right? Why does he say it's against to the Rebbe? Because again, when you have a Rebbe, a good Rebbe, and you see what the Rebbe accomplishes in his life, and you see something, so you start to, it makes an impression on the person. And then the person says, you know what, maybe I can do that also. They start to imagine that way. Right? The whole advertisement business, how does it work? They show you something, they get you to imagine, if you have this thing, this is going to be good. Right? That's how advertisement works. They get you to imagine, they show you something. But here we're learning, when you have Kabbalah Satorah, and when you have Kriyas HaTorah, they're reading from the Torah, and they show you see the Torah. Remember, that's the best advertisement, because why? The Torah is the best schorah. The Torah is the best merchandise in the world. So when you see that Torah, no, this is what I need. This is what I really want. Okay. Now I want to show you something so beautiful in one sefer that's one of my favorites for him, which is the Kav HaYosher. The Kav HaYosher is such a beautiful, beautiful sefer. And he has a beautiful piece here on the Yom Tov of Shavuos. So I want to read, we'll read over just to be mechazik ourselves for the holy Yom Tov of Shavuos, okay? Yevoyah Bayinyan, he's going to tell you the few things that we're going to have in these pages here. So we'll read now the title, the different things that we're going to see. Yevoyah Bayinyan Mem Tes Yemei Sfiras Aimer. We're going to see the reason why we have 49 days of Sfira. Kidei letar lotzeis mimem tes shari tuma. Shai Yisrael meshukayim b'Mitzrayim ulachnas b'mem tes shari kedusha. Right? We count the 49 days of Sfira, takes us out of the 49 levels of impurity and brings us into the 49 levels of purity. And that's why I told you the mikvah of Shavuos morning is known as the mikvah nun 50. Because through the purity brings us, we consummated through the going to the mikvah on that time. Okay. Said Chag HaShavuos Shabai nitne Torasenu HaKedusha v'zachi Yisrael likones b'shara chamishim shel HaKedusha. Right, the whole secret of the Yom Tov of Shavuos, that the Torah was given to us, that we enter into the level of the 50th gate. We're going to see about that, what the Zohar has to say about that. Inyan minchas ha'omer shekikrivu Yisrael b'tzeisa mitzrayim. The Omer, you had the carbon Omer Tenufa, right? On Pesach, the first day we would bring the Omer, we would wave. We would bring the Omer Tenufa, and they would wave it. Okay, that's what we did when we came out. Atam she'ein b'chag hazeh shivas yomim. That's another interesting thing. Hey, wait a second. When it comes to Sukkot, we have 7 days, and we have Shmini Atzeres. When it comes to Pesach, we have 7 days, and in Chutz La'aretz you have Achron Shel Pesach, fine. But how come this Yom Tov is one? It's 1 day. It's not 7 days like the other holidays. In Eretz Yisrael, Chag HaShavuos is just 1 day. It's not 2 days. It's 1 day. In Chutz La'aretz you have 2 days because of Sveika D'Yom and so on and so forth. But why is it that this Yom Tov is only 1 day, or 2 days, not 7 days or 8 days like the other holidays? Okay? Got the question? We understand that? You understand what the things we're asking here? Good. Okay. And the Chiyav Amiras Tikkun b'shnei haleilos shel Chag HaShavuos, and saying the Tikkun Leil Shavuos. Tikkun Leil Shavuos, such an important book. Such an important book. We're going to see right now. So let's see. We're going to go quick. We're going to read quickly so that way we can cover the Torah in the time that we have. So let's see if we can do this. With Siyata D'Shmai. Mehavas HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yisrael Tziva Lispa Tisha Ba'arbaim Yoim Mimachas HaPesach Ad Chag HaShavuos. Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu loves us so much, He commanded us to count 49 days from the day after Pesach, which is the second night of Pesach, Ad Chag HaShavuos, till the Yom Tov of Shavuos. Shehu Yoim Matan Torah. As we all know, Shavuos is the day we accept the Torah. Shehu Yoim HaChamishim, that's the 50th day, right? We counted 49 days. The night of Shavuos is the 50th night, right? We're going to count 49, right? Which will be Matzah Shabbos, Mitzvah Hashem, and then Sunday night will be Shavuos, and Sunday night is the 50th night. You don't have to count. The Torah says count for 50 days. But then you enter into the 50th. 49, you enter into the 50th. When we were in Egypt, Nishtaku beklipa b'memte shari tuma. We sunk down. We sunk down to the 49th level of impurity. And if we would have stayed in Mitzrayim 1 more day after the 15th of Nisan of that year, as we say in the Haggadah, Hare Anu, Uvanenu, we, our children, Uvanei Vanenu, and our grandchildren, Mushubadim Hayinu, Lepari, we will all be enslaved to Pari in Mitzrayim. VaHaKadosh Baruch Hu Beracham Abu Rav Chasadam, Haitzianu Lecheres, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu with His great compassion, He took us out to freedom. V'nosan lonu es ha-Torah, and He gave us the Torah, Acha Mispar Chamishim Yom, after the 50th, on the 50th day. The we counted 49 days וחוץ מיום שניתנה בי התורה הקדושה, וכל יום ויום בנו ממדרגה למדרגה. Every day we're going up one level to the next. מממתה שערי קדושה. So every day the way the Sphira works is, you shed one level of impurity and you rise one level of purity. So by the time you come to Shavuos, you shedded off all the impurity and you rose to the level of 49th level, and Shavuos brings you to the 50th. Okay? Okay, now. Therefore Hashem commanded us to count 7 weeks. Kedin Isha Nida. The same way when a woman goes through a menstrual cycle, she has to count 7 days, the days of the Nida, she has to count. Afterwards, she can go. This is Midiarai, so we don't do this today. But Minat Torah, right? Because today we have a Chishash, okay, whatever it is. Today it's not that way, but Minat Torah it's 7 days, okay? It's 7 days. And then she can go to the mikveh and she can be pure for her to go back to her husband. So to us when we were in the Midbar. We all, men and women alike, had the same impurity, the same level of impurity of the Nida Miklipas Mitzrayim because of the impurity of Mitzrayim. And we had to count 7 complete days. 7 complete days we had to count in order to purify ourselves. We had to count those days. Now he says, anytime he hears a klal in Medrash Rabbah in Bereshis Rabbah, anytime you see the word tamim or tamimais, hishlim lemida shavuos shiva. It's a completion of the midah, the seven times 7 of the 7 weeks. Shem mem tes yom, which is 49 days. Ushloisha yomim kaidem matan Torah, 3 days before matan Torah. Hayu mitzvahs hagbala. Right, we had a big mitzvah before matan Torah. Right, the Kedushas Levi says, why is the Yom Tov of Shavuos called the Yom Tov of Atzeres? It's known as Atzeres. It's one of the holidays that's known as Atzeres. Why? Because he said that was the whole thing. We had to stop. We were oitzim. We had to stop by the mountain. That was the whole Yom Tov. We had to stop at the mountain. We couldn't go up the mountain. Hashem said, don't go up to the mountain. Pen Yersu. You go up the mountain, you're going to lose a lot of people. Don't go up the mountain. We stopped. As the lady does, and she prepares herself to be able to go to the mikveh to purify herself in order to resume relations with her husband, and that's the way it goes. Okay, when it came to Klal Yisrael, and it was the 50th day, we came to the Shari Bina. We came to the level of Bina. B'shara chamishim nikra eitz hachayim asher b'sreich hagan. In the Gan, in Gan Eden, there were 2 trees. There was the tree eitz hadas toivara, and there was the eitz hachayim b'sreich hagan. V'af kiyesh shnei deyas. Even though there's a disagreement in the Gemara in Rosh Hashanah on Daf Yud Aleph, Amid Aleph, Plukta Rabbi Elazar, Rabbi Yeshua, Ibn Nisa Nivra Olam, Ibn Tishrei Nivra Olam. Well, they argue, was the world created in the month of Nisan, or was the world created in the month of Tishrei? Bein Lama, either one, according to either Rabbi Elazar or Rabbi Yeshua. Svira lay the Bepoyel Benisa Nivra Olam. They both agree that in actuality, the world was created in the month of Nisan. As we do. We know that Rosh Chodesh Nisan is the Rosh of the Chadashim. That's the first month, and all the months follow after Rosh Chodesh Nisan. Rosh LaChadashim, Im Kain, Pesach hu Chag HaRishon. Oh, so Pesach is the first day, is the first holiday, right? Because Pesach is the 15th of Nisan. The Chag HaShavuos, Hu HaChag HaEmsoi, Chag HaShavuos is the middle holiday. The Chag HaSukkah is Hu Chag HaAchrei, and that's the end holiday. Him came, L'chei Nikra Shavuos Eitz HaChayim B'Soich HaGad. Shavuos is called the Eitz HaChayim B'Soich HaGad. We know that the Torah is also known as the Eitz Chayim Hi L'Machazikim Ba. Right? We always say that when we take out the Eitz Chayim Hi L'Machazikim Ba. The Torah is connected to life. Right, Hakadosh Baruch Hu is barasa. He created the Yetzer Hara, but he barasa Torah Tavlin. Hakadosh Baruch Hu gave us the antidote to the Yetzer Hara is the Torah. The Torah is the Eitz HaChayim, Misoich HaGad. Lefi Shehu Emsoi, the Chag HaShavuos, and the Eitz HaDas, Eitz HaChayim was right in the middle. The Chag HaShavuos Hu Shvacha the Araisa. The whole Yom Tov of Shavuos is the praise of the Torah. Then we're going to talk about for a second, if you want, that we have on Shavuos we read the Agdamas, the Milan Agdamas, the beautiful words of the Agdamas, right? Which is the Gramin for the Holy Torah. The most precious part of the whole Yom Tov is so many precious parts, right? But that's so precious to read the beauty, and we describe the beauty of the Torah Kedosha. Of the Holy Torah. We describe the beauty. The Chag HaShavuos of Shvacha the Araisa, Shivcha the Koila, V'lechei Nitne HaTorah B'ha Yoyma. And therefore the Torah was given on that day, Daike Kivan, the Torah Nikra Eitz HaChayim B'Soich HaGad. Because the Torah is known as the Eitz HaChayim B'Soich HaGad. Now let's do the next one piece. Here, let's see here. Okay. Maybe we'll finish it. We'll try. Okay, if not, we'll go over a couple of minutes if you don't mind. V'lechein nirali dalzeh kosav azoya parshas emar v'zeh l'shoynei u'v'yoyim ha'bikurim v'ikravchem mincha chadosha la'Hashem, right? B'shua sechem, right? We know that we would bring the new crop. The new crop was brought. We would bring we would make on the Yom Tov of what do you call of Shavuos, right? Mikra Kodesh Yelachem, Rabbi Shimon Pasach. Oz Yiranu Atzei Hayor Milifnei Hashem. Right, we say these words in every morning in our davening. Right, Oz Yiranu Atzei Hayor Milifnei Hashem. Right, Kivo Lishpoi Tes Oretz. V'kosher l'chayra lama dorish Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai ben Yochai hamikra azeh kan ela nirali the shaper the dorish Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai oziran nikol atzei ayar the chol atzei ayar halavonon nikshorim be'etz achayim shebesoich hagan k'may shekasafti la'el. In other words, all the trees and everything are connected to the Eitz HaDas, to the Eitz HaChayim, in the Gan. And because of that, they're all, because of the Torah, because of Shavuos, is Oz Yiran Nikol Atzei Yom L'fnei Hashem Ki Volish Poit Haaretz. Okay, now look at this. Hine HaKadosh Baruch Hu Ratza Lirais Chi Vasan Shei Yisrael. HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted to show us how much He loves us. Neged Kol Umais, so much more than all the other nations. V'echilanu esaman b'midbar. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us the man in the midbar. K'may shamar HaKosav Hini mamti lachem lechem min hashemayim. Here, behold, I'm going to give you angelic food from the heaven. V'tziva isanu lahakriv sa'orim l'korban chag HaShavuos. And we had to bring the sa'orim l'korban chag HaShavuos. Zakah cholka in Yisrael the kudsha brichu bodik lo'oim b'korban sa'orim. That HaKadosh Baruch Hu want the korban sa'orim. He's going to say now. Kedin Saita, Shehevi Karbona Machal Behema. The same way the Sota, when the lady was suspected, a suspected lady, the Sota, then she would bring her carbon. It was a carbon with the animal food, again, because she went with her animal instincts of Taiva. Kach Tziva HaKadosh Baruch Hu Lahavi Karban Sairim. So HaKadosh Baruch says, you bring me a Karban Sairim from barley. Aval hai shata akidimu Yisrael nasel nishma. Oh, but when we decided and we brought forward the idea of nasel nishma, we said nasel will do before we'll hear. Bishachol b'chulu zakin. Come on, the Amar kulcha yofa rayasi, as it says in Shir Hashirim, kulach yofa rayasi. Everyone's so delighted and beautiful, so beautiful. Mum ein bach, and no one had a mum. That's what I told you when it said that when it came to Kabbalah Satayra, there was no mum. Mum ein bach. V'itamar aleyu. Eishes chayil miyimsa ve'eishes chayil hi ateres bala. The eishes chayil is the atara for the husband, the crown for the husband. L'chein kara azoyer hamincha chadasha minchas kenois. V'lechein nikreis mincha chadasha. It's called the new mincha, the new offering. V'chidusha shenasu yisrael beria chadasha b'yoyim matan Torah. We become new beings when it comes to matan Torah. Ki isha soita she tihi tahira. Like the suspected lady. But when she drinks the waters and she comes out that she was pure, she didn't do anything wrong. He niknisa v'nizra zera. Then the Torah promises her that she will have a child. That lady that was suspected, that lady will then have a child. So too we can bear fruit from what we're doing in our avodah of Hashem. Kol kach hayu Yisrael tahirin acher masa korban. So too we were purified the same way the site that brings the iron, carbon to iron. We would also bring it because we're showing that we are now pure. Therefore, Chag HaShuas is one day. We said that why is it one day and not 7 days like the other holidays? It's very simple. Watch this. Hashem is one. V'Yisrael heim goy echad. And we say in that davening, we are one nation. Oh, one nation, one Hashem, right? We go echad ba'aretz, and one nation in the land, not two nations, two stupid states. Those are a bunch of jerks. They think they were going to make us. This is goy echad ba'aretz, one nation, Klal Yisrael in our land. L'ramesh Yisrael Teluyim B'Achdusai teaches us that we are all connected to our unity. We are all dependent on our unity. L'ramesh Ala Eitz HaChayim Tiyachad L'Chulu Ilone De Gan Eden. The Eitz HaChayim was the right in the middle, and it brought together all of the trees of Gan Eden L'Kasha B'Yechuda Shalim, to bring it to be bound together, a complete binding. Now look at these words of Isaiah. You count the days after the day of Pesach. You brought the Oim for the waving, the carbon, the waving offering. When we were in Mitzrayim, we were under the domain of Mitzrayim. We were bound to the tumah. Like a lady that sits in the day of her impurity. But when we were taken out of Mitzrayim, we were brought into the level to a part of holiness. Nikra bris, that was called the bris. Upaska tumah atuma mehem, and the impurity left us. So the same way, when the lady, the blood stops and her tumah leaves her, same thing. The same idea. That's where they got the idea from, that the lady, you count the 7 weeks is like the days of the 7 ladies, because it says Usfatem Lochem. Here it says Usafra Allah. She has to count. Same idea. Kach Amar HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The Yisrael. That's what Hashem said to the Jewish people. Now this is your cheshbon to become pure. He took us out of Mitzrayim, and now we're starting our counting. The same way the lady has to count every day, right? She has to count. If she doesn't count, she has to start all over again. If she misses a counting, she has to start again. She has to count a day. So that's why we have to count the sphere every day. Usfartem lachem daika, each one of us. We have to do this for ourselves. Therefore, we should have 49 complete days. Again, 49 against 49. 49 of impurity. Now we come to the level of 49 of purity. Now, let's just finish this off. Any Jew that has any fear of Hashem, and he fears and he holds the word of Hashem important. We should try to stay up all night. Which is Tikkun Lel Shavuos. If you don't have it, you should get the book. And the book is the most beautiful compilation of all Torah, Nevi'im, Kesuvim. It has Mishnah, Gemara, it has Zohar, it has Shulchan Aruch. You have all aspects of Torah is found in the Tikkun Lel Shavuos. V'yasku b'Torah Nevi'im Kesuvim Mishnayos Uktzas Mamrei Zohar. Like I said to you, you learn the Torah, Nevi'im Kesuvim. And the Mishnah is Uksas Mamrei Azayakad V'yesh Noigim Lasais Tikkun B'Shnei Leila Shel Shavuos. If you're up to it, and you have the 2 days of Yontiv, so there are those that do stay up the second night as well. Again, if it's Sveika the Yoma, and they did it the first night, so they do it the second night. Listen, I don't know if everyone can do that, but if you can, Matoiv Manayim. Let's just finish the last line here. And then we're going to wish everyone a beautiful, beautiful Yom Tov. Here we go. How fortunate is that Jew that does this? Arusa de lasata hu ma'ayre kedushas elyon lischabra yichud elyon. When you have an awakening down here, it's arusa de lasata. When we do something down here, every yidel down here that does something, hu ma'ayre kedushas elyon. He's awakening a level of holiness up on high. Lischabra yichud elyon, to connect the bottom to the top. But b'shefa gadol, with a lot of light and a lot of bounty. Uv'schuz zeh yashpia Kodesh Baruch Hu gam kein aleinu or chadash. And there, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will give us that or chadash al tzion toyer. V'niskech, chulanu la'iroi. Amen. That we say every morning, we say these words every morning in the Birchas Kriya Shema, right? That we say Yashpi HaKadosh Baruch Hu Gam Ken Leinu, Or Chodesh Al Tzion Tov V'Niskech Chulanu Meheira Li'Oiroi. And we should all be Zaycha to feel the light of the Torah Kedosha, the light of Shabbos, the holy Shabbos Bamidbar. That's always read before Kabbalah SaTorah. That's read before Kabbalah SaTorah. We should be Zaycha to feel the light, to see the light of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and we should be Zaycha all together to greet Mashiach Tzidkenu B'Yachad, and we will all march together hand in hand to see the new Beis HaMikdash, and we'll with Mashiach Tzidkenu, with Eli Hanavi, Zachu La'Toiv. I wish everyone a great Yom Tov. I'm sorry we went over a couple of minutes, but I wish everyone the greatest Yom Tov.